This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Meg Wheeler. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thanks for asking. What part of the world are you in right now?
I am in Boston.
Sweet. And which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
Oh my goodness. Well, I run a company that's all about empowering women. And so I go around and spread my message about how we can show up and support women. So I think that's how we found each other.
All right. So where's the best place for someone that's listening to connect with you who's interested in that?
Absolutely. So my website is One for Women, ONEFOR, women.com. And we're also on Instagram at One for Women.
Do you love Instagram or would you rather Facebook?
I grew up with Facebook. I was one of the first colleges to be on Facebook. So I have a sweet spot for it, but I prefer Instagram.
All right. And what about LinkedIn? How do you feel about LinkedIn?
Ooh, so I left the corporate world a couple years ago, so I'm a little scarred from LinkedIn, but I'm getting back there.
That's super cool. Yeah, I'll connect you to the conversation before because, she started off talking about corporate as well. So it sounds as though she's in Australia, but it sounds like you guys will hit it off for sure. So I'll connect you both, yeah?
Excellent.
Tell me about your talents. What would you say is the core component of who you are?
So I really feel like my talent is figuring out what people need in this world and getting things done. So a couple of years ago, I looked around and I felt like women's voices weren't being amplified enough. And so I quit my job and I built a platform to really get that done.
How does it make you feel, like looking back from now to then when you made that decision?
Oh gosh, it depends on the day. Sometimes I feel really proud and other times I feel horrified. Like, why did I give up my safe and easy, stable life? But no, I'm just kidding. I feel very proud. I feel braver having done it. I feel like a stronger person because of it.
Now, is there anyone in your family or friends that have a similar type confidence when they're doing things?
I definitely surround myself with people who believe in themselves, but I would bet that most people would say I have a unique blend of optimism and confidence. I never give up. So that's my thing.
Now, tell me about your podcast voice, because it seems as though you have a podcaster's voice, yeah?
I do. So I have a podcast. We start. It's called One for Womankind, and again, it really goes to the heart of our message, which is all about how we can show up and support women in really small, actionable ways.
That's wonderful. One for Womankind. I love that.
Yes.
One for
Thank
Womankind.
You.
That's great. Tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
That I've done consistently over the last 3 years. Oh my goodness. How about panic?
How does that make you feel when you're panicking?
That's the life of an entrepreneur. No, I'm just kidding. I think every day brings, I always say every day brings my highest highs and my lowest lows. And that is the only thing that's been consistent over the last few years. So, and that's a really cool feeling because I think we get too stuck in our regular stable lives sometimes, and it's nice to shake things up.
Well, I can just guess from our conversation, which has been just like 5 minutes in, that you found a really neat trick to deal with the challenges that can occur with life, and it's called humor. Is that accurate?
Yes. And it's funny because I wouldn't consider myself a funny person, but I have this attitude that as long as I'm still breathing, I've still got a chance. So I think I look for the humor in life.
Yeah. And it definitely is in life. Like you can turn and I guess it's perspective as well. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
So, all right. So you're the entrepreneur. You're doing One for Womankind. Explain how women benefit from what you bring to the table, please.
Sure. So really what we do is we've created a platform for women to speak up and share their stories. So we're actually a gift company. We actually sell gift sets and products from women, but that's really just one piece of what we do. The bigger piece is that women on our platform can share their stories through our blog. We have a profile series where we tell the stories of amazing women who are working on behalf of other women. We've got the podcast where we invite on our guests to share their stories and spread their messages. And so women who are a part of our community have an opportunity to just grow their own confidence and find their own bravery and start to see what value they bring to the world.
That's wonderful. Now, you said you loved IG, which is Instagram.
Yes.
Do you do anything on IGTV?
You know, I've done a little bit on my personal profile, but I'm not an early adopter. I'll admit it. I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, super cool. All right. Well, let's switch gears for a moment now. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm blue Caribbean water.
Ooh.
Meg, what's your earliest childhood memory?
Oh my gosh. My earliest childhood memory is probably driving my Power Wheels. I don't know if you remember those remote control. Yeah. I don't know how to describe them, but driving that at my house in Pennsylvania, I was probably 6 or 7. I loved that. I was so excited to have my own car.
All right. How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
I am very independent, and I love to travel, and I love to go places, and I love to experience new things. So I think I was excited to get that car so I could go see places.
Love it. And if we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Oh, that's easy. Ace of Base, I Saw the Sign. I can still sing it word for word.
Now, are you going to sing for us?
No. You don't want me to. I may have a podcast voice, but I do not have a singing voice.
All right, I'll take your word for it. Well, Meg, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Oh, boy. Okay.
Meg Wheeler, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
Yes.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Yes.
And what about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Ooh, probably, yes, probably more. Right about 8.
Right. What about reading? How often do you read?
Every day.
If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Meg Wheeler, what would you say that is?
Oh my gosh. Just go for it.
Meg, this has been such a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Oh my gosh. Just believe in yourself. You really can do more than you know that you can.
Love it. Meg Wheeler, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.